Good? No sign trash, Shalom, Israel, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Been on these streets since 1969. Trying to teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that you are the true Jews of the Bible. Right? We're getting into the day. As you can see from the title is very simple. Judgment, what's called bad leadership is bad brotherhood. Okay? Why is that so? You want to give it a shot, McQuash? Why is bad leadership bad brotherhood?
If I may, I would just say because if you do care about someone you love, your brothers and your sisters, you would want them to know the right things to do. You understand? Be able to guide them in the right way. And if you don't know what you're doing in the front seat, you have no business guiding anyone. The only doing is leading to instruction.
Right. So what should you do if you're in that position?
If you were in a leadership position, you knew you wasn't fit for it.
Right.
You should drive out, or you should get up in the ISUPK to command Drain Hunter and learn how to learn how to teach your brothers and sisters something that they need to survive.
Right. Because bad leadership gets people killed.
That's right.
Okay. Bad leadership has you begging a man. Salakia. Salakia, technically, Bakash wanted me to teach, so what's called teach. Yeah, come. All right. Lord first. Come. Salakia. So now we understand what leadership is and why leadership's important. Leadership's important. Why? Because without good leadership, you don't know how to properly run the society. Okay? Come. Without good leadership, you don't know how to properly run a society. If you can't properly run a society, right? Now, if I may, you can't be necessary to be good in the society. Like, and why is it important to have good leadership? Because good leadership understands and knows those under your care are the most important thing. And what's caring about what's under your care? You try to think that the UPK is just some place that only cares about men. Baba Bashar, when you get a chance, turn the camera around so brothers and sisters can see. And inside of this body, we care about all of our people. Everyone. Yes, no. To what just got brought in the room. Come. Okay? We give a damn about all our people. Inside, that's not the only thing we have. We have things to support our sisters. We're going out and we're hoarding and trying to get what's called Similac and Pediasure and other things that our babies need inside of this body. You know why? Because we have good leadership inside of this school. Okay? Creflo Dollar's trying to do some new swindle where he says you don't have to pay tithes. That's a swindle. What has Creflo Dollar done to what's called help the mothers that need Similac? What has he done to help with your gas prices? You're talking about a bailout, the portage from Saturday. So.
Portage from Saturday?
Yeah, kind of. You're talking about all this about Joe Biden's bailout, but where's their bailout? Like you got this brother in the back, the head of Haiti, is doing the job of a good leader, right? A good leader gets a barrel to support his people that are in a messed up position. That's good leadership qualities. But our people, here's our problem. Read verse 11.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 11.
Right.
It says, woe unto the wicked.
Woe unto the who?
Unto the wicked.
What does woe mean?
Death or destruction.
Death or destruction. Why? Okay, but who's the wicked in this sense?
The wicked in the context I had?
Yeah, in this context, who are we talking about? Who's wicked?
The sinner.
Right. You're the what?
The sinner.
The sinner's wicked, but who makes you a sinner? Who taught you that it was okay to be a sinner?
The oppressor.
No.
Bad leadership.
Bad leadership. Your pastor taught you it's good to be a sinner. That's where that idea comes from. Okay? You're a sinner because the men above you didn't teach you that it's wrong to be a sinner. Okay? So now you face what? Read that from the top.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 11. Woe unto the wicked.
Woe unto the wicked. So that leads to your death and your destruction. Right? Keep going.
It shall be ill with him.
It shall be ill with him. Meaning what? He's going to get a bad reward. And that's what we spoke about earlier, right? We talk about him getting a bad reward, or anyone under bad leadership getting a bad reward. Why? Because of the evil that's committed. Because you're not being set in the right way. Keep going.
For the reward of his hands shall be given him.
The reward of his hands shall be given him. What does that mean? You get what you put out.
Right.
The evil you put in is the evil that will come back to you. You can't expect to receive something good after you've continually done evil. And that's what a bad leadership teaches you. Bad leadership teaches you that you should be accepted for the evil that you do, or in spite of, or regardless of the evil that you do. And that's not good leadership. First off, it's bad leadership because it's a lie. And that's the main point. Bad leadership teaching you that you can do as you please is a lie. If you do that to your child's going to end up dead. Your child's going to end up in jail. Your child's going to end up in a bad situation. Why? Because you didn't teach them that there is a punishment for evil actions. But in this house, we have a good father. So you will be punished for your actions, so that you can learn and grow and not make these mistakes again. Right? Keep going.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 12.
No, you're still in 11. For the reward. Oh, God, I thought you were read that. Read it again.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 11. Woe unto the wicked. It shall be ill with him. For the reward of his hands shall be given him.
And that's exactly what it's talking about. Everything that you put out into this world will come back to you. But why is that evil? That's evil because our people who sit here, you, your mama, and your grandmama all prayed that whatever curse is on your family that gives you all breast cancer by the time you're 50, that you can break the curse and not be dead by the time you're 70. Here's the evil part. Stop eating pork, and your pastor knows this.
Right.
Your pastor knows God is against swine eating. Your pastor knows there should be no shrimp and crab at the fish fry.
Stop having abortions if you don't want to have breast cancer.
Right. That's another big one. Stop having the abortions. And here's the thing. People sit here and use this place or use the church as some spiritual book. It is not spiritual or ooky spooky in a divine way. These are logical. This is universal practical knowledge on how to live your life. It is only practical that if I don't want cancer, I don't eat something that's carcinogen. For those who don't know, that means it has cancer or cancer-causing agents, which shrimp, crab, and lobster and pork do. Interestingly enough, though, isn't that interesting? The things that God said not to eat are things you're probably, as a human, shouldn't consume, like a bat. Because you have bad leadership. And let's take that off us since we want to talk about bats. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. When the wicked are in rule, the earth mourns. I'm paraphrasing. What does that teach you, though? Bad leadership is bad brotherhood. We love the nations of the earth. We love them so much, we will force them to not eat bat anymore. And if anyone does, we'll remove them from society. Because we don't want to see the Italians or the East Indians or the Congolese crying on CNN talking about their grandma died because you wanted to eat a bat. God did not create human life so you can eat a bat and destroy a fraction of it. And you know what this all boils down to? Bad leadership. Because if you have a leader that allows you to do whatever you want, I'm in danger. I can do whatever I want. That means I can rob you. This is such a lawless society that we live in. And you know what happens? Woe, death and destruction. Now read verse 12.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 3, and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Now, who are the children? The two groups.
Who are the children?
Who are the children? Yeah. Who are the children that oppress us?
The other nations.
The other nations oppress us, right? Who else? I'll give you a hint. Paul said, when I was a child, I did childish things. But when I became a man. So who's the child?
Well, Paul was a child. He was
more specifically. You got to know Paul's history.
He was following something other than the Bible, right?
Who was he following? He was following the Bible, technically.
He was following a bad leader.
Huh?
He was following a bad leader. A bad leader.
He was following bad leaders, but more specifically, the scribes and the Pharisees.
Right.
Your religious leadership. Your religious leadership are children. You fake Israelite group, what's it called? That want to get their behind whooped in front of a goddamn church. Yeah, they're children. That whole thing, just understand, that was a schoolyard fight. That's how you should look at that whole thing, that whole video. That was a schoolyard fight between two groups of children.
Right.
One group of children wearing purple, one group of children not so color coordinated. And funny, with all that color coordination and unity and marching, y'all got behinds with by a bunch of women.
Right.
Read the next part.
So good. And women.
What?
And women.
What?
And women.
What?
And women.
Keep going.
Rule over them.
Read that from the top.
Okay. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, and verse 12. As for my people, children are the oppressors.
Yeah, a deacon put the gun on y'all. Right? That's what happens to y'all. And then what happened?
And women rule over them.
And y'all was in basically a football tackle with a bunch of women. That's bad leadership. And it gets people killed. Okay? Now, I haven't heard any of the official numbers. Does anybody know if a Jake died during what happened in Chicago? You know, sir? You, Bakwash?
I thought they said 6 dead and 14 actually shot.
Now it's 7. But, yeah, copy. But I'm not sure if a Jake died in this. But the problem is, it's possible. You know why? Why?
Because all people love celebrating their personal holidays.
Right. And it's so sad. You saw a brother get shot up, what was it, 60 times? No, it was 60 bullets. I think 40 of them landed or something like that. Some ridiculous number.
It was 90 shots that they shot.
90 shots, how many landed
I
though?
think it was like 60.
Yeah. Some ridiculous number. And people still want to celebrate 4th of July. In his hometown, probably. Right? People still want to do all these evil things. Right? And here's the thing about it. This is bad leadership. Because a good leader would tell those people, you're not allowed in the church. Nobody associate with them. That's what a good leader would do.
Right.
A good leader ostracizes someone who isn't a part of the conglomerate. A good leader ostracizes someone who hurts a fellow member. Okay? Read on.
Oh, my people, they which lead thee, cause thee to err.
Those which lead you cause you to err. They cause you to error. They cause you to make a mistake. Right? Right? Now, what errors do they make? Give me some errors that they make. Come.
The church is teaching our brothers and sisters that the law is done away with. They don't have to keep the law, allowing them to eat food that the Most High said we shouldn't eat.
Okay.
Allowing gay marriages and telling
Right.
them they can be whatever they want to be, and the Lord
Right.
loves everyone.
You got lesbian pastors
Right.
marrying their lover, so to speak.
Right.
Right? Con.
But in all actuality, it shouldn't be no female pastors, you know?
Right.
It shouldn't.
Which shows how destroyed and how incorrect of the people they actually are. You can. Nah, I think I had it on too. You can. And destroyed as a people they actually are. Right? Or as a people we are. Because we error. This is an error that our people have, that we don't go to these things. And we don't do these things. Right? Keep going.
And destroy the way of thy paths.
And destroy the way of thy path. Why? How does it destroy the way of your path? When your pastor tells you you can divorce your husband, he's destroying the life you've created for yourself.
If I make sense.
Come.
Because, you know, the way of your paths, it can mean a lot of things. You know,
Right.
Being a black, Hispanic, and Indian, your path that's made for you is to follow after the way of the Lord. You understand? To be righteous and separate from everybody else.
Right.
But following after these false leaders is taking you away from that. You know, taking away from that straight and narrow. Giving you all these broader horizons where you can fall victim to your own lust and want and sins that the earth has to provide for you.
Right. Right. And that's exactly what it does. It destroys our path by how? When we go into these things, meaning when you allow your child to go out and be a homosexual because this bastard basically says Jesus loves or some bullcrap like that, you're putting your child on a path to get some monkeypox. You're putting a child on a path to be further confused. And mainly, more than likely, you're putting your child on a path to further have his molestation ignored. And that destroys the child. That's why I don't suggest anyone go down there, but any former homosexuals or whatever, ask yourself how much drugs were at that parade. Ask yourself what could be going on in a teenage, well, half the teenage girls, I want to use a different word, are following a fad. But question, what makes a teenage girl like hold a sign saying free hugs and kisses for everybody? No, free kisses for everybody. Like what love aren't you receiving, or what type of love are you receiving that makes you think that's okay? That's wise behavior. At 14, 15, usually most girls are looking for the one boy they like to kiss them, to get that one boy's attention. You want everybody's attention at 14, 15. And all these girls aren't fast. They're molested. They have a mental problem. There's something wrong with this woman. They have a mother that's been calling them a whore since they were 5. So now it's finally stuck after about a decade. And you allow some pastor who come the third week in May, regardless of how this evil bitch treats her daughter, Salakia, she gets to be upheld as a great mother. And she comes to the church and everybody, loves mothers, they get special flowers and all that, when she's an evil woman. Your leadership is destroying our community. Okay? Because it destroys the path that God has for us. Keep reading, verse 13.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 13. The Lord standeth up to plead and standeth to judge the people.
Standeth up, plead, and standeth to judge the people. What is this talking about, you know?
Lies.
Meaning he's going around and he's sending the prophets to do the work of teaching us, or trying to go back and do the work that our pastors aren't doing, that our imams aren't doing, that our leadership is not doing. Okay? And he's coming to judge the people and let them know, you were wrong for leaving your husband that time. Please don't do it again. Letting them know, you were molested, and instead of getting you help, professional help, people said this is the way you should be. You need help. I'm pleading with you to get it. That's my judgment. Okay? And he's sending out and doing this, right? And keep going. Verse 13. No, 14.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 3, and verse 14. The Lord will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people.
Do you know what another word for ancients is? Meaning the elders. Right? Keep going.
With the ancients of his people and the princes thereof.
What's another word for the elders and the princes?
Is that another word for the elders and the princes?
Yeah.
Forefathers?
No. It's another word for the elders and the princes.
The chiefs?
No. Think about it. They're the elders and the princes. Why is he going to talk to them? Why is he judging them? Because they're the
Leaders.
That's who this all falls on. Now understand, we're going to get that at the end, but you get a punishment for listening to an idiot. Because at the end of the day, you knew full well what you were doing listening to that idiot pastor when he said to leave your husband, and you knew the hurt on your kids' faces. You still left. So yeah, you're a dummy for listening to him, but you're still a dummy. Okay? And that's what it is. That's why. Okay? He gets blamed. Why? Because he's the one in charge. Keep going.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, and verse 14 in the middle. For ye have eaten up the vineyard.
You have eaten up the vineyard. And notice that is capitalized. The vineyard's Israel. The vineyards are people.
Right.
You eat off our people. Right? Keep going.
The spoil of the poor is in your houses.
Meaning, why is it called spoil?
It's taken after war.
Taken after war or evil gain.
Right.
A stick up isn't war, but it's still spoiled. Okay? Meaning what? You've evilly gained all this from the people, right? And now judgment's coming for you. The spoils of our people. Of the poor. Right? Why? Because the Most High knows and cares that what you did was evil. And that you robbed the people and gave them nothing in return. Right? So now read the next part.
Verse 15. What mean ye that ye beat my people to pieces?
That ye beat my people to pieces. How does he beat his people to pieces?
Am I constantly stepping on them and making it hard for them?
Yes, but how does he step on them? Give me an example.
Justice system. How hard it is to get a.
How does your pastor use the justice system against you? He's not a lawyer. He's not a cop.
That's not a pastor.
Right.
It uses your want to serve the Lord.
No, because you were on the justice system, and you weren't wrong. How does he use the justice system?
The pastor?
Yeah. You know how we got 3 strikes?
Oh, for the crime about it?
Yes.
Right.
3 strikes, for those who are unaware, 3 strikes law comes from pastors and stupid black women that listen to pastors complaining about the crack epidemic and saying we need more cops, so on and so forth. That's how you get a lot of these laws. Most laws that affect black people in negative lights, especially, are pushed to pastors. Everyone knows what Margaret Sanger said. We're going to use their pastors to convince them to have abortions. And that's how they do it. Right? They beat my people into pieces. Why? Because how else did they beat them into pieces? The rape allegations. Eddie Long. Who wants to be a Christian when Eddie Long is the pastor? Who the hell wants anything to do with the Bible if your introduction is being a Dominican Catholic? The fathers have been having sex with you and every member of your family, including your grown father. You try to tell your father, and he said, yeah, that the old ass father is molesting you. You found out the old ass father, when he was a young ass father, was molesting your father. And then to make it all matters worse, you got this man psychologically calling you dad, you calling him father. And he's supposed to be a leader in the community, someone that you go to. And you know, it's so sick and so disgusting. I don't bring it up because he's a white man. You familiar with the show Seventh Heaven? Salaki, also you have to say, are you familiar with that old show Seventh Heaven? Oh, you're not familiar with it? It's an old white show from like Channel 11 where the father was a Catholic priest.
Yeah, remember, I'm not a shooter.
Yeah, well, no, because you've been here since like for the last like 20, 30 years, right? How long you been here?
About 15 years.
Okay, yeah, it's been off the air. Long of the story short, come to find out he wasn't just playing the Catholic priest on TV. Yeah, he was really going around raping children. And you know it's so evil? A few years ago after Bill Cosby, niggas caught Alvin working at Trader Joe's, right? And cats was laughing at him. But little did anybody know, they took Seventh Heaven off the air, but they ended up having 2 twins on the show. So the mother complained, my sons aren't getting their royalties. Obviously, they took the show off the air. And secretly, they put the show back on the air just so those devils could make some money. And this cuts me into my next topic. Where does our bad leadership come from? So you understand what I'm asking. Who taught Eddie Long to be a child molester? Any ideas? Who taught Eddie Long to be a child molester? Our repressor. You mean the guy who thought it was a good idea to break into somebody else's house and rape their wife while you forced them to watch? He's the epitome of a child molester? Yeah. That's the epitome of a child. That's who you learn from. That's who you choose to have as your leadership. Keep reading and grind.
And grind the faces of the poor, saith the Most High Power of Hosts.
Most High Power of Hosts. Meaning what? He grinds up our people and destroys them. Right? Now, we're going to drop that. Now, this is what he's not teaching you. Give me Deuteronomy 28:1. Okay, give me verse 1.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Right? Now, what is that talking about?
It's about keeping the commandments of the Most High God and the reward that happens from you doing so. if you are black, Hispanic, and Indian.
Okay, so what are the rewards?
Lord
Keep
will
reading.
come upon
The Lord, no, keep going.
you.
Huh? Well, no. You will set you on high above all nations. What does that mean?
It's gonna put you in rulership, in leadership.
He'll put you in a position of what?
Rulership.
In leadership, right? You'll be the head and not the tail.
Right.
And that's exactly what we want. Right? Keep going.
Verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Right?
Verse 3. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
Blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the field. What does that mean?
No more brothers getting shot at 90 times from the police, and no more brothers getting chased down for jogging in their neighborhood, thinking they moved out the hood and it's safe over there, and they got a nice little house. They got to worry about being chased down by packs of oppressors.
Okay, that's good. Meaning what? Wherever you go, you'll be safe.
Right.
You'll be blessed. If you move to the city, you'll be blessed in that city. You'll run the city in a year. If you move to the country, you'll be blessed in that country and run the country in a year. Right? Now drop that and give me verse 15. Okay? And this is why it's bad leadership amongst our people. Keep going.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
Now they're trying to teach that the law is done away with. God says specifically that there's something that's going to happen if you don't obey the law. And let me get that. All his commandments. Yeah, it says it specifically.
Right.
There is no some you like, some you don't like. Like one thing I don't understand is that y'all need to understand certain laws are not in the New Testament. I can really kill a Christian. There's no law against raping in the New Testament. I'm gonna just let you know that. There's no law in the New Testament that says you cannot rape a woman. There's no law in the New Testament for the Sabbath. Any Sabbath. Don't try to pull that Sunday-ish because we will destroy that. So you're telling me I can work my employee 7 days a week? There's no law that says I can't. I'm a law unto myself and I need my money. That's the law I follow. Right? There's no law against that. What's murder? What's manslaughter? You might need a law system to figure out what constitutes as which.
Right.
So you mean to tell me a thief is a thief? You're rich and I'm starving. We both steal a pizza. We should both get the same punishment? You might need a law system to kind of figure out how that works.
Right.
But no, there is no law. So what happens to us? Does Yatazar lose his pizza money? Do we both get our hand cut off? And now I have to find a way to feed myself and find employment with one arm? You're rich. You can have somebody do anything you want for you. Yeah, you see how stupid this system is?
Right.
There is no law. You're just lazy and don't want to do a job of a leader. And it's evil because this happens. Read that from the top 15.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 13. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
Right?
to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
All these curses are going to come upon thee and overtake thee. Why does your pastor not tell you that there is a health risk to poor? Why does your pastor not tell you what's it called? Sleeping with multiple women is a dangerous life to live. Why does your pastor not tell you what true love to the Most High is? Right? Instead, this is what you get. 16.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city,
Keep going.
and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Wherever you go, because you have this bad leadership, wherever this leadership has you travel, you're going to be cursed. You're going to be destroyed. In both the city and the field. Give me 32. And that is what it also does. Keep going.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Your children will be destroyed as well. Your children are given to another people. Your children are sacrificed on the altar of Joe Biden. Your children are sacrificed on the altar of Barack Obama, on the altar of RuPaul, on the altar of Biggie Smalls and Tupac and whatever other stupid like Future. Your children are sacrificed to another people like Future. Future's of our people, but at the end of the day, Future's going around promoting things he doesn't even support. Right? Keep going.
And thy eyes shall look and fare with longing for them all the day long.
You question why your child went and became a homosexual. Why would you even introduce? That's a white concept. Why would you even introduce him to anything white? Like 4th of July. Don't be mad when your child goes against what you want them to, when you went against what the Most High wanted you to. The Most High wants you to listen to your husband. Don't go against that or it will come back on your child. The Most High wants you to love love the scriptures and love the truth. What's called. And if you listen, your Most High, your child should follow suit. All right? Now drop that, give me 68. And this is important because you're not taught this. And this is probably one of the most important things for you to know.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 68.
Come.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Right?
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
Thou shalt see it no more again. Meaning we won't see our homeland. We listened to bad leadership so long, we were completely expelled from our ancestral home. I don't think any other people can really say that. Possibly, but not really. Right? Our leadership was so bad, it got us kicked out of our own house. Right? Keep going.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
And we'll be sold unto our enemies. You mean the people whose holiday we just celebrated yesterday?
Right.
Those are our enemies, right? But your pastor has you in love with this goddamn holiday and this time of the year and Christmas. We are serving their gods. We are keeping their holidays, right? These people hate us, right? But we are forced to serve them because we are oppressed by children. A child is selfish. He doesn't care about anyone but himself.
Right.
Okay? So if it means Creflo Dollar gets a perm, but you have to go to prison, yeah, you're going to prison. That's what's gonna happen. You're not gonna get justice. You're not gonna get to burn down CVS. and Jesse Jackson gets to try to run for president just so he can lose, and an African can make him look stupid. Con.
Did you see what?
Say what?
You see what Creflo said?
About no time. Yeah, I saw about that. Yeah, God. You don't gotta pay tithes now. Now you don't gotta pay tithes. Okay. Give me Jeremiah 23:1.
Come.
Jeremiah 23:1. You got it? Okay. Now we're gonna get through this. You got it? Come, do you think?
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 1. Woe be unto the pastor that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture. Keep going.
Saith the Lord.
That's their destruction. And notice, a lot of times he doesn't say anything to the sheep, because the sheep are just going where they're led. But the pastor gets death and destruction. Your leadership understands the damage they do. Understand something. The scribes and the Pharisees knew full well who they were speaking to during the time of Christ. Today, our leadership knows full well that we are the men of God, that what we are saying is the truth. Right? And yet they continue to ignore us, and continue to ignore the Most High, and continue to ignore the truth. So God prophesies death and destruction to these people. Read on.
Verse 2. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away.
You drove them away by making a teenage boy say, I wanted to commit suicide after the bishop started having sex with me. What is in your mind to make you have sex with little boys? Give Commander General Yohana a hand, please. I asked for that so we are aware. The brothers back in the 90s swore up and down when that cat was getting his name up in them goddamn infomercials. Swore up and down all through the 90s. That cat Eddie Long is a homosexual. Look at him, that gay ass purple. No proofs, no nothing. He was just a homosexual, classic homosexual in purple. With no proof of this man being a homosexual, lo and behold, early 2000s. This just in, Eddie Long allegedly molested 5 boys. One of them wanted to kill himself, was giving them all type of lavish gifts. And then a few years later, Eddie Long got cancer, and then got the most rapid, most killer cancer I could ever find that destroyed his body, took tons of weight and killed him. Want to know a secret? Eddie Long had AIDS. Yeah. Give the Most High a hand. Show me Eddie Long. Yeah, you scattered my sheep. Eddie Long deserved his death. Them boys are probably listening to Sonetta and Poe Wright right now. Will never pick up a Bible in their freaking life because of what that man said. Now, instead of being swindled out of their masculinity by this devil, by this snake, they're going to be swindled out of their money by this oil salesman. Right? And it's disgusting. And it makes them, and then let's deal with those idiots. Because those idiots, I'm not going to mention names because I don't want anybody to get in trouble, but a lot of idiots, and it's not even just one. A lot of them idiots post scams, and then even the little bit of love they do have, or connection they do have to the truth, which is a love for our people, you lose that because an idiot want to scam you out some buck money. How about this? Maybe you do garner all the love. Maybe if people are stupid enough and love you enough to give you thousands of dollars for your books, maybe just be honest and say, peace and black, well, yeah, whatever the hell y'all say out y'all goddamn mouths, peace and black power, power to the people, we all want whatever the hell. I need my rent paid. Here's my cash app. Why do you have to swindle people with some bucks you ain't got? Why do you have to convince people that you have some product or some great knowledge that they have to pay for in order for them to pay your rent? You can't just say, here's this knowledge, I got this, but if you would like this knowledge tomorrow, I need my Wi-Fi bill paid. So in order for me to do this, you know why? Because you're a shyster. And like any shyster, any person that's trying to gain somebody, you can't look messed up. Who wants to buy a house from a guy who shows up, what's called in a busted hoopty? You don't know what you're doing. If that's your car, I hate to see what type of houses you buy. You know how Jesus got all his followers? Being broke as hell, he was honest.
Right.
And he didn't even have, he was so honest, he didn't even have to ask. There's instances in the Bible where sisters just went up to him and started doing the man's hair. Right? And that's the evil part, because y'all have that honor and more. Y'all, as these leaderships, have this honor and more, and instead of giving a damn, you don't. You don't. We have to have, I mean, I don't want you anywhere near the strip club as much as these guys, but we have to have idiots who think it's okay to have camps and preach the word of God outside of strip clubs when there shouldn't be a strip club, because you should have had these women in order from jump. These women should have been born in order. Okay, keep going.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, and verse 2 in the middle. And have not visited them.
And have not what?
And have not visited them.
Gone back to the strippers.
And
well, where were you when these sisters was getting molested?
Right.
Where were you when these sisters needed a way to feed babies? As I showed y'all earlier, we giving out tampons. Where the brother in the back, that noise you're hearing, is a brother filling up a crate with sanitary materials for sisters in Haiti. Y'all don't visit the sisters in Haiti. Y'all tell Red Cross to do it and then be shocked in 5 years finding out Red Cross was extorting our sisters for sex. You want toilet paper? I want a blowjob. You need to feed your kids. I need to bust a nut. And you know why? Because you're a terrible fucking leader. Salaki, excuse my French. But that is disgusting. And it is only Creflo Dollar and Al Sharpton's fault. It is only Al Sharpton and Creflo Dollar's fault. All right? And Salakia, who's a big pastor in Haiti?
Gregory Toussaint.
Gregory Toussaint. Gregory Toussaint, where were you at the border of Mexico? Did y'all see any of his followers, sir? Anybody hear about Gregory Toussaint's followers coming to the border of Mexico to help those Haitian brothers and sisters? No, we had to have a brother call from New York to teach them their heritage. A bunch of grown-ass people, 30 and 40-year-olds, with their children, looking for work, just learning their heritage. You failed the Black and Hispanic community, and that's a failure.
That's right.
Keep going.
And have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith the Lord.
I pray, well, I don't pray any destruction. I pray an earthquake only hits Toussaint's church. I pray the Most High deals with Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and all these other leaders that watch us starve and die inside of this community. Okay, because y'all are responsible for those sisters and brothers that died in AME like 6-7 years ago. Y'all help facilitate the idea of standing there and marching and standing there and begging your killer. And we're going to get to that other evil bastard who taught all of us, who really is the poster child for this. Okay? Keep going.
Verse 3. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all the countries whither I have driven them.
And he's going to gather us from every place he got us. Okay? The Haitians had to go on the run from their own place of origin, sort of, and run all around the Central America and try to find their way here in the United States. Right? And now he sent brothers to do the work of getting those people out, of starting remnants. Give the Most High and let's our brother in the back for doing the work of raising up the people of Haiti. And for all the brothers inside the UPK. We got Mexico coming along strong. We got Puerto Rico coming along strong. All these places are coming up and raising up great. Why? Because the Most High is with them. The Most High is tired of your poor leadership and is trying to institute righteous leadership. And righteous leadership and leadership in general is not 50 million people on Facebook. You know you're a terrible leader when you're not trying to put everybody together. Since the beginning, since the split, we have tried to end the split and bring Israel back as one nation. Everybody else is unwilling to join that table. Right? Keep reading.
It says, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 3. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase.
And then we shall be fruitful and increase. Meaning what? What did they say in what was that, South Central? He hurt-induced progress. Yeah, that's your pastor. They're hurt-induced progress. Don't take this the wrong way. I wouldn't feel too bad about police killings if it wasn't for abortion. Honestly, that's me personally. Like, you kill, understand that we have the mindset, for every police killing, that just means we're going to have that many of that name. For every one of us you kill, we're going to name out every baby. Basically, every baby that's born that year will be named after that. So we'll have a bunch of Trayvon, Sandras, Georges. And it's like, you'll go into a classroom, imagine being a teacher. Every boy is freaking named Trayvon. You got to call him by their last name. But because of abortion, that is an ever-present threat. Because of the destruction that happens to our people, this is something that we have to be cautious of. Right? But why is that? Because our pastors support abortion. Our pastors support your right to have the right to choose. And then want to bring God into it. Like, God is okay with it. How y'all rationalize that? God is okay with baby killing. Like, honestly, like, y'all women are evil and, like, y'all don't deserve life, honestly. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't consider y'all women. If you have an abortion, I don't consider you a woman. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't know no woman that can have that mentality of, I understand I am this thing's basic survival. This thing cannot survive without me. And you can't lie and say that's not the case, because at the end of the day, you feel its feelings. That's how connected you are with this. When it's hungry, you can feel its hunger. And yet and still, you'll deny all that and kill it. You're barely even human. That is completely inhumane. But your leader teaches you that that's okay behavior. That you can just be a baby killer. And God will accept you. But that's a lie. And the cancer should teach you that. Keep going.
Verse 4. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them.
They shall feed them. Meaning what? They'll be taught how to properly live, that they can't get an abortion. Read on.
Which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed.
What are they afraid of? On topic. Just talked about abortion. What are they afraid of?
Losing their babies.
What?
Losing their baby.
No, they're not afraid of losing the baby. They're not afraid of losing the baby. They're going to get the abortion because they don't want to have the baby. What are they afraid of?
Having a baby.
Right. They won't have that fear. Because in our society, being a mother will be the highest esteem for a woman.
Right.
Okay? Like, you gotta understand, like, there'll be so many black babies, it's not even funny, because you gotta understand, in certain countries, General Muhammad brought this out, in places like Sweden and like European countries that are well off, nuclear families are incentivized. Yeah, financially incentivized. A young couple, 21, 22, fresh out of college, married. Here's 100 G's yearly, find a house. Oh, y'all have a baby. Here's another 100 G's yearly. So 200 G's. Don't gotta work, don't gotta do ish. But put a ring on her finger and you get another 100 G's when you have a baby. That's gonna be us. The gates of Jerusalem will never close with the what's called of our people. Who do you think's eating all that? Yahushua? Really? Yeah. There'll be no excuse. I ain't got no money to take care of it, baby. You'll have to be Creflo Dollar and Michael Jordan. And even they'll be able to take care of a few kids. They won't be like us with like 18 wives and like, I don't even gotta use my paycheck to support my children. Sure. But yeah, that'll be us as a nation, right? And we'll be fed and we won't be dismayed. We won't be afraid of anything, right? Keep going.
And they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed. Neither shall they be lacking.
And that's what I'm talking about. We won't lack anything. We won't fear for anything. Keep going.
Saith the Lord.
Keep going.
Verse 5. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper.
Okay, a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper. Okay, keep going.
And shall execute judgment and justice in the earth.
Execute judgment and justice in the earth. What is that talking about? Who is that talking about? Right, but give me more.
It's talking about the order that comes from the kingdom, from the Lord's kingdom, which is how child is the leader. You know what I realized you said? It says, I will raise unto David a righteous branch. Because, you know, they try to act like we was more uncivilized. We had the law and the order from the gate, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The branch means like a government, you know? Governance system.
Right. Wait, what do you mean, the branch?
Yeah, it says a righteous branch.
No, a branch is talking about a seed. A righteous branch is talking about Christ. Let's read it again. Let's read it again. Behold, the days come, says the Most High, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and the king shall reign and prosper. That king, the branch and the king are both the same thing, meaning Christ. Okay, a righteous branch of David. Why is it saying David? Because he's out of David's lineage. He's David's seed. Right? And why is it saying like a branch instead of a seed? Because from Yahushua came this building. Came Yatazar's bower and created a righteous branch to be shepherds over his people.
That's what I was getting at. Like, because underneath Yahushua's rulership is going to be a government.
Right. And we're going to jump around. So like we're going to get this, but hold on. Let me see if there's any more I want to go with this. Give me verse 10.
Oh, huh. It's the book.
Give me verse 9, actually.
Verse 9?
Yeah.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, and verse 9. Mine heart within me is broken because of the prophets. All my bones shake. I am like a drunken man, and like a man whom wine hath overcome, because of the Lord, and because of the words of his holiness.
Meaning what? He's overwhelmed seeing all the evil that's going on. Keep going. But who's causing all the evil?
Verse 10. For the land is full of adulterers. For because of swearing the land mourneth.
Keep going.
The pleasant places of the wilderness are dried up, and their course is evil.
Right.
And their force is not right.
Meaning what? Everything that Israel at this point is doing is evil. Y'all having fish fries with shrimp, allowing the organ player and the choir director to be homosexuals. The pastor's on his 5th wife. And I mean, he's been leaving these women, making whores of them. Right? Now read the next verse.
Verse 11. For both prophet and priest are profane. Yea, in my house have I found their wickedness, saith the Lord.
Yea, in my house have I found their wickedness. Meaning what? They're doing all this evil inside of the temple. Right? Keep going.
Verse 12. Wherefore, their way should be unto them as slippery ways in the darkness.
Meaning what? You don't have any idea what's about to happen to you. You're just going to be walking in the dark, not knowing which way you're headed, and then you're just going to bust your behind. That's what's going to happen to you. That's what happens to our leaders. If Martin Luther King just walked out into a bubble. Malcolm X, calm down, brother. Calm down. Nobody's in your pocket, Kaplow. Eddie Long. Yeah, you're full-blown age, Mr. Long. Keep going.
They shall be driven on and fall therein.
They shall be driven on and fall therein. Yeah, he had no idea that somebody was going to shoot him after leaving that hotel. Having sex with white prostitutes, beating the hell out of them. You are going to call me a nigger today. That is literally what it is supposedly on them tapes about the FBI. I want to see if I can find them. I'm going to play them in class one day. Keep going.
For I will bring evil upon them, even the year of their visitation, saith the Lord.
Keep going.
Verse 13. And I have seen folly in the prophets of Samaria. They prophesied in Baal and caused my people Israel to err.
Meaning what? They brought another God into our people, into our congregation. And that's causing our people to err. Okay? PrEP is not a God. Okay? PrEP. An HIV medication that's very big amongst homosexuals. Basically, you take it, or you take it, and it stops you from getting HIV. Right. Keep going.
Verse 14. I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem.
That's why there's monkeypox now.
Because of that crack.
Yeah.
I
Have seen also,
have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem and horrible things.
meaning what? Our people were still messed up. A horrible thing in the prophets of Jerusalem. Both of them. Israel and Samaria, right? Keep going.
They commit adultery and walk in lies. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers, that none doth return from his wickedness. They are all of them unto me as Sodom, and the inhabitants thereof as Gomorrah.
And it's funny that he mentions that because I didn't understand certain scriptures about Judah being worse than Ephraim. And yeah, you're familiar with that, right?
No.
Judah's sin is a diamond tip, huh?
And
It's like a
Diamond tip pen?
Khan. The sin written with a Judah's sin is written on his heart with a diamond tip pen.
Yeah, it was equal.
Say what?
It was equal.
No, well, they don't give one for Ephraim. That's to be explained. Judah's worse than Ephraim. Meaning, here's what happened. I'll get to that in a sec later. But when it describes Ephraim and Judah as two women, Ephraim went and played the whore first. Judah was there to see it all, and then said, I'm going to be worse. She had 2 niggas on the side. I'm going to have 10.
Oh, man.
I couldn't understand the correlation and explained. Go down in the Hispanic countries thinking you can be a homosexual and see if they don't find you dead in the sugar field. We've been embracing RuPaul in the black community since the 90s. And then it kind of clicked, yeah. Yeah, Judah's worse. I still know Hispanics that, like, the parents are like, yeah, we've only ever been with each other. And that's somewhat common, especially yesterday's generation of, like, Hispanics. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, not so much Judah. You have to go to your grandparents to maybe find that. Right? Now, drop that, and we're going to get into the worst leader of them all. Okay? No, we're still in the same script chapter. Okay, we in 25.
Right.
Yeah, there we go. I was just trying to figure out where exactly I wanted to start.
Yeah. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 25. I have heard what the prophet says, that prophesy lies in my name.
Okay, now before we get into this, well, read the next part.
Saying, I have dreamed. I have dreamed.
That's the end of the verse? Okay. Here's what you have to understand. There's the main idiot we're going to talk about. But this is a very common thing. It is very common and very big for idiots to come saying, I got a dream from God, and this dream helped me see this, so you need to do this. It is always a con. Usually always. Okay? Now, why am I saying that? Because an idiot who just had his peoples get their ass beat always says, I saw a scripture that showed Jesus in purple. And that let me know that all my people should wear purple. I'm not lying. That's that man's excuse. A dream is why they all got their behinds looking like Prince. I think somebody on chat was like, yo, like Prince would be rolling in his grave watching that. Yeah. I have dreamed. I have dreamed. That's a swindle and a good one. I had a dream, so you should listen to me. Right? Con. Now, Con.
Miss Leo had a dream too.
Oh yeah, Miss Cleo wasn't even Jamaican.
Oh, man.
And those who don't know, Miss Cleo was not even Jamaican.
Right.
Wasn't even. So yeah, continue.
Verse 26. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies?
I prophesy lies. What is the lie that your pastor told you? That Martin Luther King told you.
The lie that Martin Luther King told you?
What?
The lie that Martin Luther King told us?
No, Martin Luther King.
That we should all be together, join hand in hand. That he had a dream that we should be together, join hand in hand.
Say what? Say that one more time.
The dream that he had talking about that we should be joined together hand in hand.
Right.
With white people and black people, all nations together and all that.
Right. It wasn't a lie.
Right.
And what's the thing to understand about the Most High? Because the Most High used Martin Luther King to teach a very good lesson. What's that lesson? You got to know a little about his history and what happened after he did that, and shortly before his death. Huh?
Don't lie to the people.
No, you're right. But what exactly happened right before Martin Luther King died?
I'm not sure. You talk about him. You talk about him saying that he would listen to a burning house.
Yeah. And that's to let you know something. Understand, huh?
That was right before he died. That was like a year, 2 years after he started doing the thing.
No, that was a little before he died. Yeah. Here's the thing you need to understand. Get it right the first time. There is no, Nebuchadnezzar was sanctioned by the Most High to bust into our holy land and enslave us. He took an added bonus of stealing our stuff out the temple. Long of the story short, his son came into power, inherited all that stuff, but they treated it like royal silverware and not God's plates and cups and goblets. So eventually, I think a hand wrote a secret message, and only Daniel could decipher it. Daniel deciphered it, basically explained, "You've angered the Most High. I'll fix anything I gotta do." He died that night. Yeah, that's how the Most High operate. I think I'll let my people into a burning house go plow. Yeah, you did, my nigga. You're not allowed to fix it though. That's how the Most High works. Especially for a leader, get it right the first time. Because if you don't, you got people killed, and there is no drawback. Like, yeah, you lost the battle, but I don't give a damn about your battle. Somebody has to go home and tell some old woman she's now childless or one child short because of your bad leadership decisions. Con, you need to. Con, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, you see how you said that Nebuchadnezzar's son had to call Daniel to decipher the message.
Right.
Because of how to read it. Is it safe to say that the messages was in Hebrew?
Huh?
So the messages is it safe to say the messages was in Hebrew?
I don't believe so. I gotta relook at it. Some of it was in Hebrew, if I'm not mistaken, but some of it was kind of something else. Because it's like Hebrew, somewhat of a what's called language, so you kind of would know it, but I'll go back and check. Okay. Keep going. Yay.
They are prophets of the deceit of their own heart,
They are prophets of the deceit of their own heart. What does that mean?
That information.
Con.
That they go out and teach and lie for their own personal gain. They're only doing things for what they want, not for the sake of what the Lord wants.
Say that again.
I said that they go out there and they lie and they tell the prophecy. They go out there and lie to people and trick them up to get what they want from them.
What do they want?
They want personal gain. They want money and
give me an example.
And houses.
Not just always personal. Not just always money.
Power.
Always power. Okay, give me an example.
Follow the example.
Let me explain something you probably never heard. Only thing we got out of civil rights was the ability to have sex with white women.
That's all you wanted anyway.
Or who won?
Martin Luther King.
Right. Let me explain something about civil rights. You couldn't afford to go to Macy's. Is it clicking yet?
Right.
You couldn't afford Red Lobster. Is it clicking yet?
No, they might have couldn't go there.
Say what?
They might have couldn't go there because you couldn't eat there anyway.
You couldn't afford these places, right? Who could?
What?
No.
Who? Oh, the bad leaders.
Right. They make six figures. They can afford to shop at Macy's.
Right.
They can afford to eat in 5-star restaurants and go to 5-star hotels. You're niggers, though. Now, niggers are allowed. I don't care what money you have. So what do? They rally you up and convince you. How about you have a German Shepherd bite you on the ass and get hosed down with a fire hose so that I can shop in Macy's? This is terrible leadership. And matter of fact, since we're here, let me explain something to you. Since we're here and what time is it? You still in Jeremiah, right?
Gosh, it's 8:37.
All right, copy. Give me John 10 and verse. Wow. John 10 and 12.
You want me to read it right now?
Yes.
This is the book of John, chapter 10 and verse 12. But he that is an heir and not the shepherd.
He that is a hireling and not the shepherd.
No,
What is a
a
hireling?
Negro customer.
Huh? Yeah, look it up if you have to.
Hireling, a person employed to undertake menial work. A person who works purely for material reward.
A person who works what?
Purely for material reward.
I like that one. A person who works purely for material reward. Right? Now, so that's his MO. This is in hireling. Now read it from the top, verse 12.
Oh God. This is the book of John, chapter 10, verse 12. But he that is an hireling and not the shepherd, whose own sheep are not see the wolf coming.
Are not whose own the sheep are not, right? See of the wolf coming.
And leaveth the sheep, and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them, and scattereth the sheep.
Now, what is that talking about?
A bad shepherd, a bad leader.
Why?
Leader that people forget.
Why?
To be eaten and destroyed by the enemy.
Why?
Because he's a sucker.
No. You just broke it down. Why?
Because he's getting something out of the deal.
He's what?
He's getting something out of the deal.
No. He's not getting anything out of that deal.
The hireling.
The hireling, he's not getting anything out of that deal. You're hired to watch it. I'm hired to watch McDonald's and McDonald's burns down. Am I getting a paycheck tomorrow?
Hold on. But did it say the hireling is someone who works purely for the material reward?
What reward do I get out of possibly risking my life to fight a wolf?
I don't know, but
You get it now?
That's why he don't. That's why he doesn't help.
That's why he ran. Now read the next verse, verse 13.
Come. This is the book of John, chapter 10, verse 13. The hireling fleeth.
Why?
Because he is an hireling.
Which is what? Somebody who only works for?
Material rewards.
Right, keep going.
And careth not for the sheep.
That's why. That's your pastor. He runs. Don't think of it as he's in the pocket of your oppressor. I can fire you, Al Sharpton, at any minute and replace him. I don't need Al Sharpton. But Al Sharpton knows he'll get stream bros, so he just plays along. Okay? And this is the point how people don't get. We're dealing with a wolf. Babu Shah, if you can turn this to me. This is a video called The Secret of Selling the Negro. This is a video from 1954 where they discovered that we were the top earners inside of America. Okay? This was used to basically push integration. This is why white people supported integration. And you're about to get an understanding of it. And you understand now why your leadership was so for it. Because they were pushed for it. They were scattered. Your leaders did not give a damn about your black business. Your leaders did not give a damn about your bank, your local drugstore, and the things that were necessary for you. They ran when the wolf came to come and gobble up the black community. They ran and said, as long as I get to keep my church and my tithes, I'm good. I don't know if y'all can get a good view of it, but I'll stop it and read it for you. There's a telegram from Washington. The average Negro wage earner today gets 4 times more money than a few years ago. So if we were making on average 20 grand a year, we're now making on average 80. Right? The Secretary of Commerce of the United States said today, meaning what? This is at the top levels of the government, making a note of the fact that one of the top earners in the country is the ex-slaves, right? His income has increased more rapidly than the income of all other Americans. So that means the Pilgrims that first settled here, the Irish, the Italians, at the height of the mafia, we were beating out the Irish and the Italians. Right? The Commerce Secretary said, he pointed out the family income of the Negro is today at a record high. Black people have never been this rich. And they saw this, and look what this white man's about to do. See his eyes lighting up, seeing that?
Right.
And I'm going to show you the thought, what this meant for integration and segregation. Right? Now, for those who don't know, That's like back in the day how they used to be able to do phones. So now what he's doing now, he's showing you, he's getting the word out to every white man who will listen. These niggas is getting rich.
You got the level on that, Joe? How did the video come through? All right, the light's button up. Don't forget the dog is close. All right, be sure to stick.
Now, mind you, this is MCM. This is the same company. You can see it at the bottom. For those who don't know, MCM is a very big. They're not really around today. They're responsible. Anytime you see Tom and Jerry, MCM, and they used Tom and Jerry used to always make fun of their logo because they would have Tom, what's called with the lion. Remember the cats with the lion? That's them. Yeah, but I don't be seeing them because what's called on last thing, biggest thing I know they had was the Wizard of Oz. And just so y'all know, I'll do a class on that maybe one day, or I'll tell you about it. And you can do a class on it if you want to. Dorothy did blackface. Look it up. Judy Garland is the actress from Wizard of Oz name. Look up Judy Garland blackface. Yeah. Okay. And there's who Martin Luther King told you should love. You should love Wizard of Oz. The woman who went around making blackface about you because she couldn't be in a Broadway play or something. That was the story. Publishers of Ebony. No, and now we're talking about, because I'm just realizing this. I've never noticed this part, right? Because I usually skip through credits. Yeah. Johnson Publishing Company, publishers of Ebony, Tan, Jet, and Hue. Yeah. Your leadership is doing this. Can they see? All right, John. Check it out. Now stop. We acknowledge with thanks the cooperation of the United States Department of Commerce in preparing this film. The government planned this in 1954, about almost 15 years before civil rights was even passed. You don't think there was meetings about them homosexuals getting that many years before Obama? They was all planned to steal some goddamn, to get some goddamn money.
Hello, I'm Bob Trump. I've got a story here that I think is big, really big, because it's bound to have a terrific impact on business. I'm talking about a new market, a big new market, millions upon millions of new prospects with $15 billion to spend.
That's the most beautiful thing that there is. $15 billion.
That's right. I said 15 billion. That's a lot of money, isn't it? The surprising thing is that it's a fresh market, still full of opportunities. It grew up so fast, got so big in a hurry, that few of us realize its scope. Now, these days, nobody's likely to pass up chances to sell. Yet right here in our own front yard, there's a neglected market. There's money waiting to be spent. To get the story of this market, to be able to tell you the secret of selling the Negro, we did a lot of digging. We talked to leading businessmen, the customers, and the salesmen. We went to Washington, D.C. We set up cameras and other key points around the nation. And out of this all, there emerged a story, the story of a new market. Yes, this is the market we're talking about, the new Negro family. Their name is Wells or Wilson, Smith or Brown or Alexander or Green. They live in Chicago, in Atlanta or New York, in Detroit, St. Louis, Los Angeles, any one of the thousands cities and towns. All over the country, families such as this are enjoying new prosperity. They have new interests, new standards of living, a buying power they've never enjoyed before. There are good prospects for practically all types of goods and services. All too often, though, they're overlooked prospects. Why? Because of some good, valid reason? No. They're overlooked because of mistaken ideas, because of out-of-date ideas about how the Negro lives and how he buys. The truth of the matter is that the Negro lives pretty much the same as other folks. He buys pretty much the same way, too. But just the same, a lot of old doubts and opinions keep cropping up over and over again.
I don't like to do business with Negroes. They're drifters. You can't keep track of them.
Yes, although a lot of people think that way, the truth is that 1 out of every 3 Negro families living in cities today owns its own home. That figure comes directly from the United States Bureau of Census.
And they're doing all this work to do what? To get our people out of it. What's the purpose of this? To steal our money. $15 billion is a lot of money back in the 1950s. They realized how powerful economically we were as a people and said we need to destroy this. And our leadership helped them. I think I want Zechariah 11 and 5. Okay? And they look at this, our oppressor looks at this as an evil thing. Right? No, as a good thing. Like this is something good that's going on. And here's what's so evil. Our oppressor even knows that these evil. Look. Read it. Oh, you got to go.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 5. Whose possessors slay them,
right,
and hold themselves not guilty.
And whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Right? They don't see any problem with trying to go in our communities that they've neglected. He literally said they've neglected this for years. Like, they have not given a damn about black opportunity until it became an opportunity to take our money. Then we need to rethink this whole segregation thing. Read on.
And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord.
Blessed be who?
Blessed be the Lord.
Yeah, they're thanking our God for our destruction. Just like they do today. Keep going.
For I am rich.
For I am what?
For I am rich.
For I am rich. God is blessed. Bless God because I'm rich. Why? Because we're swindled out of our money. Let me rewind this back. Hold up.
Maybe. So.
Yes, although a lot of people think that way, the truth is that 1 out of every 3 Negro families living in cities today owns its own home.
1 out of 3. What do you think that number is today? Like, to even think about that, 1 out of 3. During segregation, 1 out of every 3 Negroes owned their own house.
Right.
There's about 3 brothers in this house. You own your own house? I don't own mine. So you got this off. She's still in the back, right? Oh, sleep. All right, John, yeah. What's it called? We don't own our own houses.
Not at all.
Right? Why? Because integration destroyed our people.
Right.
Integration destroyed the community and interdependence that we had.
Yeah, right.
Meaning, more than likely, we were renting from other Jays. We were renting from other blacks. That's why how we were able to accumulate $15 billion because we weren't listening to some idiot's dream about us all coming together.
Yeah, right.
Therefore, we were allowed to keep our money within house.
Right.
Because people don't understand, money and economics only works internally. A consumer can never be anything but. I'm sorry. That is the way of the world.
Right.
We can never be, the reason we were able to grow and accumulate wealth is simply because we were able to take what little raw materials were afforded to us, make a small stepping stone, and then build from there.
Right.
And then over almost a period of 100 years, we became almost a small society and a possible threat, future threat to the larger society we was in.
Right.
Matter of fact, give me that. We're going to end it off with this. Give me Exodus, the 2nd chapter. Actually, give me the 1st chapter. And this is what bad leadership does.
What?
1 and 7. And this is an instance that happened to our people in the past, right? And this is why we get the sentiment we do across the earth and throughout history. Keep going.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 1, and verse 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied
Right,
and waxed exceedingly mighty.
right.
And the land was filled with them.
Meaning what? We weren't dying off. We weren't a destroyed people, which is really what the North thought would happen. The North thought this would be... Okay, here's the funny thing. In all actuality, they prefer us to be the welfare addicts they complain about. They thought that's what they were getting. But soon realized, nah, that's not. We're the top earners in the country. It only took us a few decades. So yeah, this happens. 8.
Verse 8. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
Keep going.
Verse 9. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Meaning what? They started to fear us as a nation, even though they were a more powerful nation in every facet.
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies, and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
Meaning what? Meaning, what do they mean by get them up out of the land?
We gotta destroy them.
No.
We want to kick them out.
Where were they? Somewhat. Where were they? Do you know?
They was dwelling in Egypt, right? Because of Joseph.
Where?
In the projects.
No.
That was in the what Joseph told them to go to be tell them to till the ground, right? Because they didn't want to mess with it. They lived in the farm.
Right.
Regions.
So they were what? They were
Separated.
separated. They were segregated. Right? So what does it mean to get them up out of the land? We just explained how today's time, right, it worked to our benefit and we were outpacing the white man as far as finances.
He wanted out of their comfort zone. He wanted to integrate them into their
Exactly. He wanted to integrate them. Integration has always been an evil act for our people. And our leadership, they seem to think it's a good idea. Okay? And that's what this is about. This is about teaching our people not to listen to bad leadership. Pharaoh was not a leader for our people.
Right.
Pharaoh wanted to destroy us. Just like Joe Biden today wants to destroy us. Just like your Christian pastor wants to destroy us. Just like your fake Israelite group wants to destroy us. Your fake Israelite group, okay, let me explain. You got fake Israelite groups doing all types of dumb stuff, like molesting children, stealing people's money and getting caught in strip clubs, getting women killed and not even helping their family with the investigation. That's just disgusting. And you want to go anywhere but here? We have none of those problems. You want to call cats leadership, but did nothing when that woman's mother begged you about her daughter's whereabouts. That is disgusting. And that's why you got your behinds whooped. I wish it would have been the UK camp. But yeah, that's what happens, right? Now drop that, give me two and 11. And we're going to show you what a good leader does.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 2, verse 11. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown.
Right, we're going to talk about Moses, the first man. So what's called, one of the first prophets of Israel, meaning the first man who was an Israelite to be called a prophet, meaning saying God talked to him. Right? Now we're going to learn about his leadership or his pre-leadership. Keep going.
That when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting in Hebrew, one of his brethren. Verse 12. And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian.
What?
And when he saw there was no man, he slew the Egyptian.
Meaning what? He had love for his people. He loved for that brother who he did not know and killed that man for it. Keep going.
And hid him in the sand. Verse 13. And when he went out the second day, behold, two men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? Verse 14. And he said, who made thee a prince and judge over us?
And then what? He showed his love to protect his people, and then he showed his love to bring his people together. And this is what allowed the Most High to make him his leader, to make him the first head. Okay, and what did he do with that ability? Did he make himself great? No. Give me Deuteronomy 4:4. 4:44, Salakia.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 44. And this is the law which Moses set before the children of Israel.
Right?
Verse 45. These are the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which Moses spake unto the children of Israel.
And that's love. That is love right there. Because who he loves, he corrected. Right? Keep going.
After they came forth out of Egypt.
Right? After they came forth out of slavery. What's called the Most High gave us laws to dictate how our society works. I was saying that earlier. How do y'all have any of this? So society crumbles. Who's in your army? What's the military age? Y'all got one? Y'all got the answer to that? What's military age? According to the scriptures, what's military age? What does God want us to do? If I lose an arm working for an employer, what happens? Moses knows.
What?
Anyone who listens to Moses knows. But you don't know. You know why? Because you listen to terrible men or you are one.
What?
And here's the sad thing. The terrible man knows the answer. You think your pastor doesn't know the Bible? He does. Your pastor knows the scriptures very well. He's just an evil bastard. Okay? And Is there anything else? I did the highlight. Ah, yes. Now we all talked about the. Give me Revelations. I want to say 21 or 22. Oh, 22 and start at verse 14. Revelations 22 and 14. We're going to end it with this so you understand. Even though the pastor is completely evil, if you listen to him, you're just as evil.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 22 and verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life.
Blessed are they that do his commandments. Why does your pastor not teach you this? Because he's a terrible leader. He doesn't want you to be blessed. Keep going.
That they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city.
Right?
Verse 15. For without are dogs.
Are dogs. What is a dog?
Heathen.
Right. Keep going.
And sorcerers.
And sorcerers. Right?
And
meaning
whoremongers.
drug dealers. And whoremongers, meaning pimps. Right?
And murderers.
Right?
And idolaters.
Right?
And whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
Whosoever what?
Loveth.
What?
Loveth.
What?
Loveth.
So you love white Jesus.
Loveth.
You love prayer.
Loveth.
You love your father.
Loveth.
Like your Catholic father. You love any of this. Keep going.
And maketh a lie.
You and this creator will be killed.
Verse 16.
And that's it. Wait, actually, you can read that, yeah.
Verse 16. I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches.
Right.
I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star.
And that's it. Now, no, you're good. Here's the thing you need to understand. Why is this important? To understand who your true leader is. And this man said you will know them by their fruits. Your pastor doesn't do the will of the Most High.
Right.
Okay? And with that, I'll pass the class over to priest and officer.
Clap it up for the class.